Hello, my dear church boys, and welcome to St. Robert's Daygame Pickup Podcast episode number 40. In this episode, I am on a Skype call with Mr. T. Mr. T, you have probably heard him on several podcast episodes before. He's a daygamer from New York City. And in this call, we talk about how daygame lifestyle has so much degeneracy in it. You are out a lot, you're day gaming a lot, you're going on many dates, you're drinking with girls, you're having tons of sex, you're probably hanging out with other day gamers and partying. You are constantly going to sleep pretty late, which messes with your work, with your health, because going to sleep late means you wake up late, you can't work, you sometimes have hangovers. And it's in general not a sustainable lifestyle long term. So me and Mr. T, we're talking about what we are doing in our life, what are our routines, what are our habits and hacks, how we balance out degeneracy with some healthier stuff to make sure we can keep living the lifestyle as long as possible. And as always, I have to remind you that I do these podcasts once a week, maybe once in 2 weeks, depending on how busy I am with my coaching schedule. And so there is only so much ground I can cover during these podcasts. And if I have anything more to say, if I have some ideas, some stories, something new, I usually share it either in the mailing list, I send it out to all the subscribers, or I share it in the Daygame Church Telegram group chat. So if you want to know more about what's going on in the day game in the world, what my thoughts are on day game, and maybe some little ideas or tricks I come up with, make sure you are subscribed to St. Robert's mailing list. To do so, go to strobert.blog, that is strobert.blog, and just fill any of the forms on the website. It's also where I talk about my travel schedule, where I'm going, either for day game or for coaching. So if you want to know that, then make sure you're subscribed. Or you can also simply join the Daygame Church group chat, which you will get the access to in the welcome email once you subscribe. Right now, I'm still in Riga, Latvia, where Daygame is full on. And my next trip is planned mid-July. And until then, I'm simply working from laptop. I coach several guys over Skype with recorded infield sessions where we work on how they should improve their day game. What exactly should they focus on for the next 50 or 100 sets? What's the one thing that is kind of like the biggest problem in their sets? We go over that, and then I give them homeworks, or we work on dates where guys send me recorded dates. I listen to the dates, and then we talk about how should they improve their dates to get laid more. If you want to do any of that until mid-July, then just shoot me an email to robert@strobert.blog, and we will figure everything out. With all of that being said, let's jump to the conversation with a friend of mine, a wing of mine, Mr. T. Okay, I'm starting the recording.
Wait, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Are you just going to jump into it? Usually there's a script.
I do have a script, don't worry.
All right.
We're going to talk about the degeneracy of day game. We'll start with like stories, with crazy day game stories. Why day game lifestyle is so crazy.
Crazy good, crazy bad.
Crazy unhealthy.
Oh, shit, it's fucking unhealthy. It's so bad.
Yeah, so I want to talk bad stories, and then I want to talk like, so this isn't sustainable long term, and I want to talk about what you are doing and what I'm doing health-wise to keep your health in check and keep your mental health and physical health in check. That's kind of the idea.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't show you the chick, man. Oh, by the way, how did yesterday end?
Well, no lay, which is fine. I don't care too much about the lay. But it's interesting. So I met her at one park, and because we're trying to find a coffee shop, we ended up just walking all the way straight back to my roof.
Nice.
Which was like a 25-minute walk. Like I hung out on my roof, came back to my apartment. I tried to escalate. I could tell she was, like when a girl can sense the tension, but she's not ready for it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So she was definitely like, okay, I'm not so freaked out that I want to leave, but at that point,
Yeah.
Baba, it's like I'm not yet ready to go through with this. So I was
So
cool.
how long did it take you before you started escalating at your place from meeting?
Um, I started escalating. Let's see, while we're on the roof.
Like
So,
escalating to LA. I mean, not
to
like
LA,
all the other shit.
Oh, after getting to my place, that was like maybe 10. After getting to my apartment was about maybe 10, 15. Shouldn't let me kiss her, to be honest. Yeah.
Wait, 10, 15 what?
Minutes.
From no, I mean from the point you met her
Oh, from the
on the
point I
street,
met her.
and then when you started really escalating towards sex.
Okay, so see, I met her at 7.
So
Yeah,
3 hours, 15 minutes.
7, and we were in my apartment by 8:25, 8:30.
Okay, you're fast, motherfucker.
Well, it's because we walked all the way and she was very compliant. So I was like, hey, that's my rooftop. And we went to the roof. And then I was like, hey, I want to show you my drawings. And then she was sitting next to me. And I was doing all the touching. Like she had no issue with everything else, just like whatever. And then she had to leave. She had to like get out because it was getting late and she was walking home. So that's fine.
Yeah. Did
That's
you
fine.
text? Did she
Did I
respond?
text?
Did she
Yeah,
respond?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she did.
good.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So,
you had a similar date than I did. I was walking in Riga,
mhm.
and I was gonna go and buy some sleeping bags because the Midsummer Fest is coming up, like Midsummer Eve. It's
Oh,
next
the
Tuesday.
beach.
It's like big thing. We all go into nature.
Yeah.
So I was gonna buy some sleeping bags, and I'm walking in this posh shopping mall that you remember, Galleria Riga,
Mm-hmm.
and I see outside this. Oh, so the Coke guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the Coke guy told me he was sleeping with one really nice chick, and he showed me her Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking in the mall, and I see that, oh, there is the chick that guy used to date.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit, I have to withdraw money, but if she's still there when I come out, I'm gonna open.
Mm-hmm.
So I come out and she's still there, and she's like really responsive. So I ended up going on a date and pulling her to my place.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the lay, but it was like nice makeouts, and she has incredible body, and like, yeah, just a really cool chick. And I'm meeting her when we finish recording this. I'm meeting the girl again. She's coming over to my place.
It sounds like it's game over now.
I hope so, but she doesn't know that I know that
Yeah.
guy. She kept me. She told me stories about like this guy, and that this happened with him, and this happened with him, and I visited him, and I know she's talking about the guy. I'm like, shit, man. The only question is, how do I solve this ethically after sleeping with her? I think if I sleep with her, I will sleep with her twice and then tell her, but not after the first time.
That you know the guy,
Yeah.
but they're not seeing each other, right? She's just the.
No, but like the fact that I didn't tell that I know the guy
Oh, fair
when I
enough.
clearly knew who she was talking about. I think it's something where you have to like find a way to tell this ethically and make sure she feels okay and feels good about it, doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. I wanted to have like good vibes. I'm a good vibes guy.
Yeah, I get you.
So, anyways, these are the kind of stories I wanna talk about with you today. I wanna talk about the balance between the degeneracy of day game and how to keep like the balance between degeneracy and having a decent health and like mental health and physical health, and how do you not fuck up your life by partying and drinking so much and doing other things so much when you are living this crazy lifestyle. I suppose everyone knows who you are if they have listened to previous podcasts. So let's just get into it. Like the thing with day game is you get drunk a lot. I mean, I get drunk a lot with chicks, and when I meet regulars, we have some wine, a bottle or two, and it's pretty common to like fuck until middle of the night and have crazy same delays that don't work out, and you just go to sleep crazy late, and it just fucks with your schedule. And like, for example, the chick with the same delay that I went for, and I pulled her to mine.
Mm-hmm.
She left around 8, and I realized I'm not gonna get delayed, but I was horny as fuck, so I met another chick 1 hour later. uh, the lifestyle is just crazy, because today I'm meeting the same day late chick today, the failed same day late chick today after this call, but I have a regular scheduled for tonight for 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another chick who I will teach how to give good blowjobs while I film her while she's learning.
Wait, are you telling me you're gonna suck your own dick?
What?
Apparently, there are guys who can do that. Like they're so flexible, they can suck their own dick. Wouldn't
Fuck
ever
that
do
shit. I'm happy I don't have to explore my flexibility. So so lifestyle, yeah, just like game is definitely not healthy. I mean, if you are kind of like day gaming, you develop your social skills, so you probably party with friends more. And I honestly go to sleep pretty late, and I've usually had some drinks most days of the week, because I'm meeting chicks most days of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, how healthy or unhealthy is your day game lifestyle?
Well, I don't drink that much. I actually try to avoid it for the very reasons you've said. Um, uh, well, the way I do I organize my dates is if I really had a good date where I did drink anything, I may stagger the next one just because I'm usually like hangover. I'm just terrible with alcohol. But yesterday was actually a weird situation. I was trying to get a girl I was already seeing to meet up, but then I was also trying to text three other girls to set a date, and one of them was either gonna be yesterday or today. And I was at a conflict because that's just a lot of trying to organize, and I was like, maybe I could try to do two in one evening, which was gonna be terrible. So what I ended up doing was just postponing the girl I was just seeing to later in the week, since I'm taking more time off for a week just to kind of day game and reset. Did yesterday's date, and then I have another date today this evening. And then I think I probably have another one on Friday, assuming they don't flake. And I don't know, I'll figure it out. But generally, I try to limit how much I drink. And if I do drink, hydrate, vitamin C, and I just try to like get my body back as soon as possible to kind of get to the next, do it, whatever, just to be able to do what I usually do every day, which is work and maybe work out.
Yeah. So I brought the non-drinking dates in the. I have like the notes for this conversation that we should talk about, and I wrote it down as a topic because I had an email where a guy asked, hey, how can you do dates without drinking? I think that's worth talking about, because I was on a date Sunday. I saw two chicks, and I did two sets on Saturday, just walking around. Was going to do some stuff, and I had date with one of them on Sunday, and I only had like one drink in venue one drink in venue two, and one drink at my place, and then delay. So it's just three drinks, and I think if you finish a date with three drinks, that's pretty healthy. That's really as good as it gets when it comes to drinking. But yeah, that's kind of the reality of lifestyle. I mean, sorry guys, that's just what it is. You go to sleep, especially in summer, you go to sleep a lot, like 4 or 5 a.m. And honestly, my life kind of consists from day gaming, sleeping with chicks, and coaching day game, and creating day game content. That's like the serious side. And then there is like some other hobbies, but that's really the lifestyle. And you also have a full-time job, right?
I do, yeah.
I do, and you have to fit that in. Although I think coaching and creating content for day game is also not a full-time job, but pretty close to it. So although it seems sometimes that the guys that coach day game, they just day game and that's it, and it's actually a lot of work to do that. But the thing is, I don't think a lifestyle like that is sustainable long term. You can't just, because I've done it for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of starting to have hangovers now. Like I can't drink that much anymore, and I know it fucks with my work sometimes, because if I go to sleep at 4 a.m., then I wake up the next day and I feel like shit and I don't get any work done. So I do realize that lifestyle like this is not sustainable. I'm lucky enough to be able to kind of do this because I don't work that many hours, but I definitely have a lot of things that I do to balance it out, to keep the lifestyle as healthy as possible, as much as it is possible when you are a day gamer like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you probably also have many things that you do intentionally or not to keep yourself, I don't know, sane and healthy. Do you? So day game is obviously a hobby to most guys, and even to me, day game is a hobby. Even though it's a job, like coaching day game and creating day game content, that's a job. Day gaming for myself, when I don't have to coach, that's still a hobby. I still love doing it, especially if I'm in a nice city with beautiful chicks. But do you have any other hobbies that you have outside of
Day
gaming?
game. Yeah, I actually don't get to do a lot of that because of stupid day game. It's
Stupid day
not.
game. Fuck day game. Fuck that shit.
It's day game is fuck. It has its ups and downs, and honestly, it's really not sustainable. Like it's like I almost compare it to if you're going out and gaming every day. I almost compare it to like living paycheck to paycheck in a way. And you don't want to be the person that's living paycheck to paycheck. You want to have some kind of investment or equity whereby you don't necessarily have to think too much about where your next meal is coming from. That said, my hobbies are travel, which I can do right now. So I guess that's one thing I don't have to feel guilty about. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I travel for day game. So
Dude, you don't have a traveling hobby. That's just to sustain your day game hobby.
but it's a refreshing way to do day game, right? It's like a new city, new culture. At least I get to do other things while day gaming. That I really enjoy. I draw. I love staying fit, but again, because of the way things are right now, that hasn't been. I haven't been getting the best exercise I would want. That makes me really feel fulfilled. But I still run. I love running, so I run to kind of make up for that. Um, and let's see, so it's art, travel, fitness. I think those are the main things that really that matter to me for the most part.
Okay, because I think the value of having other hobbies is that you get to think for fun about something else rather than just day game. And I think it is important. I've met guys who they are really dedicated with day game, and they day gamed like 4 hours a day. It was just incredible. I had this student, I coached him in Prague, and we've done some Skype coaching afterwards and some date coaching over Skype. And it's just, the guy was crazy. He was day gaming incredible hours, and
Mm.
he was getting really robotic. So what I told him, dude, and he hates sightseeing. He just doesn't love sightseeing. He has spent a lot of time in Prague because I coached him there, but he had never actually seen Prague. And I told, dude, I'm giving a homework as a day game coach. Uh, don't day game. Go see the city.
Mm.
Enjoy the city. Just chill out a little bit. And I think it's really important to do something else. If you are day gaming a lot, if you are doing more than 25 sets a week, which is the minimum any upcoming day gamer should do. I think it's different if you're advanced, then it's a different topic. But if you are doing 25 and going out 3 times a week for 2 hours or more, you should have other hobbies, preferably hobbies where you can kind of measure your success, or maybe not. It's really person dependent. And what I do, I love Brazilian jiu-jitsu because it's very technical. I'm a very technical guy, I'm kind of geeky about daygame. I geeked out like crazy when I was learning. Like I watched all the material and I went out almost every day. And on my free time, I geeked out on all the material I could find. I watched all the videos, listened to all the podcasts, read books, and I just went crazy. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is very similar because it's also very technical. So that's one thing that kind of keeps me sane even when traveling, because I live like month in one city, then month in another, month in another. In any city, I can find a BJJ academy and go train. So that's definitely one thing that keeps me sane. And the thing that I love doing is fishing. I just love going and fly fish for trout or salmon or whatever, because it's also kind of technical thing. But it's just being in the nature and forgetting about day game, forgetting about chicks, maybe sending a ping from a river, like we'd love some great nature views. They love that. But yeah, definitely I think having other hobbies than day game, and preferably hobbies that are healthy. Because you are a crazy gym guy, you're like a ripped dude, you're one of the most ripped dudes I know. And I think a hobby that's healthy is a really simple way to improve your balance between degeneracy of day game and health and a sustainable lifestyle. So I highly suggest finding a hobby that you like, to guys that feel they are day gaming too much and partying too much. And some guys say, I don't know what I want to do. I don't have a passion for anything. I'm looking for something I have a passion for. And or the guys say the same and they want to start a business. They say, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not really passionate about anything. And I read about the study. I'm not too much of a studies guy, but the idea was that first, like people think that you find something you have passion for and then you start doing it. And they discovered that it's the other way around. Like first you start doing stuff, and after doing it for a while, you become passionate about it.
Yeah.
So even if you like want to start a hobby, but you don't know where to start, just pick a hobby that's not a pussy hobby. It's like find something that will add to your value and start doing it and see how you feel about it. Like a month or two in, just stick to it and enjoy it. And if you like it, boom, you have something to do. So I do think hobbies are important in day game to keep your kind of mental state okay. So let's talk about sports, because you said you do a lot of sports, you run. So sports, is it just lifting and running, or is there anything else?
For me, it's mostly running and lifting. Running particularly for me is somewhat of it's a form of meditation for me, because I focus a lot on my breathing, my speed, my pacing, and I suppose it's a very technical thing for me, because I used to do track, and I was very kind of involved in trying to get better. So even though I'm not doing track right now, I still run semi-long distance, and it's important for me to always push myself and to also make sure I have my technique right and everything. So the whole process for me when I run is a way, it's not only just to stay healthy and fit, but it's a way for me to kind of just meditate and like just block everything out and just focus on very specific things on the activity that I'm doing.
So you are also a very technical guy that geeks out on details.
Well, when you want to get better at things, you have to kind of like assess a lot of things. So yes.
No, because we have never spoken about this. I didn't know this about you, and I know I'm really geeky about details. Whether it's like you've heard me coach guys, and you've heard like the detail I explain things in.
Yeah.
It's like how you change the tone here a little bit, or you use this phrase to create an information gap so that the chick wants to hear what you have to say for like the next minute. And you said you run semi-long distances. How long? How long? Because I have no idea. I'm not a running guy.
Semi-long. Well, you speak metric. I only know it.
You can tell it miles. I'm fine.
Okay, I think it's 3 miles is the most that I will run.
That's 5K.
Yeah. Right. Is it 5K?
Yeah, it's 5K.
Okay, yeah, that's the most I'll run.
Times 1.6.
Oh, easy then. Yeah, so 3 miles is the most I run because I think it's the best. For me, it's the ideal distance to keep my form. Again, if you want to keep like some level of quality, that's kind of my maximum before quality drops. Before the
Okay.
what's it called, diminishing returns of running are
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like running the streets, but I do enjoy beach or like somewhere in the forest with like hills and shit like that. I
Uh-huh.
do love that, and I wanted to start doing more of that, but then I need running shoes, and when you travel with one backpack, it's kind of complicated. So I actually bought shoes that are, I thought they would be okay for running and for street as well. Like I wouldn't sacrifice too much of my extremely good looks and my amazing style.
Mm.
So I did find an option that's kind of in between. Um, and you said that it's like a meditation for you.
Hmm.
Um, what about meditation in general? Do you meditate?
I probably should. I think I should, and I think I should do it more. I've done it a few times, but I'm not consistent.
Okay.
And that comes down to habit forming. I think I've been terrible. I've broken some habits that I had just because when routine gets broken, it's kind of, I don't know if you understand when let's say if I'm living in New York, I have a very specific routine and I don't have to think about anything. I just kind of do things in the order that I have always done them. And let's say if I travel, usually that breaks my routine and it takes a while to kind of build it up again.
Yeah.
So I haven't picked up, I haven't made meditation as much of a habit yet, but I think I should.
You said you're a routine guy. Is it morning routine or is it something else as well? What things in your life are like kind of in a structured routine way?
Yeah, it's not morning routine. It's kind of like daily routine. So usually it's wake up. Well, if you're lifting and you're trying to get like keep your muscle mass, the thing is I have to eat at specific times. Um, and it has to be clockwork. So get up, make a shake, drink the shake, do a bunch of other things, maybe take a shower, then eat again, then do work, and um, and then maybe take another break, do some more work, and then go out and day game. And when the gyms are open, I'll just go and work out. So there was a actually COVID fucked up my routine because some of the things in between I can't do, right? Like lifting is not a thing that I can do anymore. But yeah, it's just a daily routine that I have throughout the week. That's very regimented to make sure that at the very least I'm fulfilling a minimum set of goals that for things that I want to make sure I keep up.
Okay, because I'm a routine guy, but I do morning routines. I have so and it's I don't do it every morning, but most mornings I do it. I wake up, I take a shower, but I'm a cold shower guy. So I will start with a warm shower and I will end with a cold shower. So I will wash myself, but when I get to brushing my teeth, and yes, I'm one of those people who brushes their teeth in the shower. I'm the strange guy. What I'll do is I will just first I'll actually do a breathing exercise that I learned from some podcast. I don't remember which was it. Which like because I think you can do a lot with breathing. And I do this breathing exercise where I inhale for a 4 count, then I hold the breath for like 7 count, and exhale for 8 count. And inhalation is through nose and exhalation through mouth. So I will do that, and then I will just turn the water to cold and spend a few minutes brushing my teeth under cold water.
Mm.
I've done this for like almost 3 years. End of August will be 3 years without skipping a single day, except when I'm sick or on the days after I get a new tattoo. I
Mm.
haven't skipped a day for almost 3 years. So, and cold showers definitely is something that I find valuable. It's first of all, it's crazy good for health. Just if anyone is interested, I suggest googling of that. It's an incredible habit. But another thing it teaches you is like you're under a warm shower and then you have to turn it to cold, and it's really really fucking scary. It's just like opening a girl. It's like, oh shit, I don't want to do it. But you just take that fucking thing and you turn it to cold. You just do it, regardless of whether you want to do it or not. You just do it. It doesn't matter what you want. That's what you do. That's who you are. And it's the same with day game. You're scared to open the check, but you just go the fuck in and you open the check, because that's the way. That's who you are. You're a day gamer. You open checks. Boom. That's it. So that's actually something that cold showers taught me. Sometimes when I was afraid to open, I was like, yeah, but in the shower, I don't want to turn it to cold. And this is very similar. So I just went in because fuck it. It doesn't matter how I feel or what I want. The question is what do I have to do? Am I this kind of guy who will base his actions on his emotions, like, oh, I don't want to open? Or am I the kind of guy that will say, well, yeah, I feel those emotions, but I'm still going to do what I choose to do. So yeah, morning routine. So cold shower. I meditate for 10 minutes most mornings. I tried different meditation apps. I tried Headspace. I tried Calm. They did not really work for me that well. But the thing that did work and worked amazingly, it's the best thing I've found for learning to meditate, was Sam Harris made an app called Waking Up application. It's available for both Android and iPhone, and it has a 50 days long introduction course where you have like meditation for day 1, meditation for day 2, day 3, day 4. And you get the first days for free when you get the app, and if you want to keep going, you just get the subscription. And that thing really helped me. I do some stretching after meditation, like 15 minutes of stretching, because I'm like 30 and my back is fucked up. So I do have to do that. And then, yeah, it's healthy breakfast. And sometimes journaling, and then I get to work. So I love routines, and I'm a big fan of Tim Ferriss. And Tim Ferriss, in his podcast, he kind of picks the brain of really successful people, and he tries to find the habits they have in common. And someone asked him a question: hey, what is like the habit that most people have, the successful people have? Have you found a habit that, or not habit, have you find routines that all of them have in common? And he said that no, he hasn't found the routine that all of them have, but what he has found is that all of them have routines. Every successful person he has discovered has his routines. So I think routines are really, really important. In my case, it's morning. In your case, it's how your day is going. But I heard a lot about mornings in general. What about food? Are you a healthy eater, or like you don't give a fuck? Or
I have no idea what you mean by healthy or not.
no, I mean that's a broad topic. I mean, I'm not like, let's not go into vegan or carnivore or clean or lean, whatever, just whatever it means to you. But are you thinking about what you eat, or do you just go with whatever you feel?
No, I have to think a lot about what to eat. My dad is very specific. It's mostly chicken, or it's mostly chicken just because it's the easiest thing for me. But it's chicken or some kind of beef, ground or otherwise, and rice, and I always have a shake, and have a bunch. I eat lots and lots of eggs. You know that, like you are in my apartment. I eat like
1.5 weeks.
yeah, I eat like an incredible amount of eggs. But yeah, I would say that relative to most people, my dad is healthy. I cook for myself, but it's just because the food that I eat, it's easier for me to I have to track my calories. So it's easier for me to track the calories and to track my macros if I cook it myself.
Yes.
And I know exactly what I'm eating, and I can adjust based on what my needs are for basically exercise performance. So yeah, that's I'd say I eat healthy pretty much.
Do you remember what I eat a lot when I was staying at your place?
Pancakes.
That's because New York was too loud for me. I had to medicate a lot. But yeah, in general, most days of the week I eat pretty healthy. At least I'm thinking about what I'm eating. I have the idea about my choice, what I consider healthy food, and that I stick to.
Mhm.
Of course, I have my cheat days. Of course, I sometimes just have some shitty food, and I'm not perfect, but at least I try to stick to it, and I do stick to it most of the time for sure, because I think you have to keep your body in check if you wanna live the degenerate lifestyle for more than a year or two.
Mhm. Mhm.
You have to kind of, because you don't want to get a belly, and yeah, you have to be fuckable, you have to be hot, so you have to think about that. What about oh, by the way, talking about cold showers, I know you started doing them. How is that going?
Yeah, it was a
I'm calling
challenge.
you out on a podcast.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's funny. It was a challenge given to me as part. I was doing like some what is it? Feel the fear and do it anyway kind of things. I felt that I wasn't being as what's the word? Uh, ballsy. I was trying to see how much more I could push my comfort zone. And someone gave me a challenge saying, "Hey, take a cold shower for 5 minutes." And at the time, it was still really cold. It was not yet entirely spring, so the water was super cold. But right after the shower, I was like, "Oh wow, this was like." Before I did it, it was really cold. I was trying to hold my, like how you're gasping for breath. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's some, like when you gasp for breath when someone pours cold water on you. That's how it started. Um, After a little bit under the shower, I kind of got used to it, and by the end of it, it just felt really great. Like for some reason, my muscles felt really tight, and like everything was just good. So I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna do this every day," and that was 3 months ago, almost. That was like beginning of March. So I have consistently taken only a cold shower, no hot water, since March up till now, every day, and I'm gonna keep good doing it for the very reason that you said regarding day game. It's one of those things that I really never want to do. I get up in the morning sometimes I really want to do it because I'm like sweaty and grimy. It's great. I'm like, let me do it like this. I really just want a cold shower right now. But then other times I'm like, ah, fuck. All right, I have to do the cold shower. And
So
this,
wait,
uh-huh.
have you had a warm shower in the last 3 months?
No, I haven't. Like
Not even once.
no, the whole point was to remind. It's again to kind of remind me of day game because there's hesitation. There's always hesitation. And I learned that breathing deeply actually helps. Like if I do like deep breaths before going under it, it was kind of a hack. I'd find a hack to do the shower. But just that whole process, like initial hesitation, then I get under the shower, and after like a minute, less than a minute, a few seconds, like, oh, it's not that bad. And then I can stay under the water for longer. And then it's done. And it was like, oh, yeah, it's great. I did that. And it's always the same process. It's always mostly the same feeling. And that's just goes back to day game, how you're like, I don't want to do this. But then once you start, you're like, oh, you get some momentum and you're like, all right, oh, this is not so bad. And then you're happy at the end of the day that you actually did it.
Um, I'm having this conversation with you, and I'm thinking many guys will start taking cold showers and eating healthy. Well, what I want to say to them is, shut the fuck up, keep eating healthy, keep taking your warm showers, and go out do more sets.
Yeah.
So unless this is a conversation that's we're doing this for the guys who are doing too much day game and just partying too much because of day game. If you're not doing 25 sets a week, then stop even thinking about health and all of that shit. Just go out and fuck some chicks. That's what this is all about. This podcast is for the guys that are like, oh my god, my dick doesn't work because I have fucking too many chicks. So what should I do with my health?
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
going
don't
out.
start with cold showers. Start with digging.
Yeah,
And
let people not use cold showers, and cold showers will not make you good at day game, right?
yeah,
Let's say that right
fuck
now.
the
They will not.
self-help bullshit
They're
in your
not gonna
game.
fix your day game. Only day game is gonna fix your day game.
Yeah,
So
getting your dick wet is gonna yeah, like, cause there is a point in day game where you have like there is the concept of abundance, but you know what's the real abundance?
what?
Like when you couldn't give a fuck about fucking that chick, and if she's like you know kind of what you should do when she's like, oh no, like it doesn't let you escalate. You kind of know what you should do. But I think the real abundance starts when you're like, oh bitch, please, you're reacting like that. Like I'm not even gonna bother.
Right.
And
That's too much time.
that's like you don't say it out loud, but that's the thing that's in your head. Is like, oh fuck. But there is the thing where guys do think like that, and that's just because they have brainwashed themselves that they don't need sex, and there is a level where you're like, oh come on, like just if you're not fucking, go away. I'll call someone else.
By the way, on that note, just real quick, there was a time I did a set and the girls were like, I was like, hey, do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, well, no, I'm asexual. And I'm like, you're asexual? How long has that been going? And she's like, since quarantine. I was like, oh, well, I thought I was asexual in college until I realized I wasn't talking to girls. So I had actually convinced myself I didn't like sex because I did not know what the fuck I was doing. And this was in college. I was like, yeah, don't convince yourself that. Right?
Yeah, so many guys have this thing where they're like, oh, he's not hot enough, or I couldn't even bother, sex isn't that important to me. It's just when guys can get laid, it's very easy to convince yourself sex isn't important, because then or she isn't hot enough, then you aren't the problem. Your skills are not the problem. Sex is not important, so why would you even bother? It's fine. You are okay. Your game, you don't have to work on your game because sex is not that important. She's not that hot. They're kind of finding ways to
avoidance,
yeah, to avoid taking responsibility and getting some
feedback,
some sweet pussy.
But also feedback that they're not it's an ego thing, to be honest.
Yes, of course, man, 100%. So, cold showers, healthy eating, all the other boring shit. What about supplements? Do you supplement?
Yeah, I do. Again, the supplements I take, well, when I'm on max supplements, it's all related to sports, because a lot of you lose a lot of nutrients and stuff when you are working out really hard. But I haven't been doing that, so I'll just go with what I do as the baseline. So vitamin C, vitamin D, some vitamin E, it's an antioxidant. Vitamin D is supposedly great for testosterone. I don't know. My testosterone has always been high. And what else? Sometimes I do take this thing called Mucuna pruriens, which is it's made from this velvet bean, and it will keep you alert sometimes. It's not something I take too regularly, but it's like a supplement meant from some bean in South America, and it does, for the times that I am feeling a bit lethargic, I might take that. But yeah, I'd say my staples are vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D, and yeah, those are and magnesium. Magnesium. Started taking that. Good for the muscles. Good for contraction and everything. How about yourself?
I am taking vitamin C, and I'm taking vitamin D. That's why I wanted to ask, how much C and D are you taking?
Right.
Okay, so that sounded really wrong.
I want vitamin D. Disclaimer, all these numbers vary for people, guys. We're not nutritionists, we're not doctors, so don't take this as advice, but just as our take on how we do things. So vitamin C, I take 2,000 milligrams. And with vitamin D, I take either 5,000 IU or 10,000 IU. I'm told that they are synergistic, so ideally you want to take both. You want to make sure you're taking both vitamin C and D, because they work together in some kind of form, supposedly.
Yes, delivery mechanism.
Yeah, and then for vitamin E, I'm not sure. I think it's probably 5,000 IU too. Let's see here.
Wait, but you said you take 10,000 EU of vitamin D?
10, yeah. So that's
a lot, man. That's a lot.
The thing I have comes as a 5,000 IU jelly bean, and I end up taking 10,000. Now, I remember you mentioned this that Rhonda Patrick was like for dark-skinned people or black people.
Yes.
They have we don't produce as much vitamin D because of our melanin. And especially if you stay indoors, it's much likelier that that's that's true. So I kind of teeter between 5,000 and 10,000. I don't take 10,000 all the time, right?
Yeah.
You don't wanna take too much of anything is bad. It can be and could probably be terrible. So yeah.
Yeah, because I listened to Rhonda Patrick. She did an episode on Joe Rogan, and I think she had an episode on vitamin C and vitamin D on her podcast as well. By the way, I really like. There are a few people that I listen to when it comes to health advice, and Rhonda Patrick is one of them, and the other one is Peter Attia.
Yeah, I like that guy.
So I listened to them. Obviously, as you said, we are not experts, and we are just retarded day gamers, and and we don't know shit about health, so don't take this seriously. Any of the advice here, we're just two degenerates that are kind of trying to like use some things to keep our shit together. But yeah, I take vitamin C, 3 grams a day.
3 grams. So that's okay. So 3,000
3,000
milligrams.
milligrams. Yeah. So, but I take like it in the form like it's a 500 milligrams each time, and I do it like 6 times a day, and I take 400 IU vitamin D in the mornings.
Oh
And
shit.
you were saying you were using what was the other thing you were using?
The Makuna, is that the thing you're talking about?
No,
Makuna,
some other what you were talking about some other vitamins.
vitamin E,
E? Yeah, what
vitamin
is that? Why do you
400
take that?
IE. It's an antioxidant. So vitamin C and E, I think, are both antioxidants. So anything to do with free radicals that are produced by the body, these two will kind of help out with.
It will fight all the alcohol and other things we use and all the STDs.
Yeah, and then of course magnesium. So
Okay.
I think zinc is worthwhile taking, but everyone like all I don't know if you take zinc, but I would take zinc if all the people who didn't want to catch coronavirus hadn't bought all of it from the supplement stores. You can barely
Yeah.
find zinc anywhere now.
My idea is I want to keep doing C and D, and a few months later, I want to go and get my blood work done.
Yeah.
With very different like I want to measure the vitamins and figure out what should I take, because the vitamin D thing is you have to kind of know what's the vitamin D level, and that's how you figure out how much you should take. So are there any other things you do to kind of keep yourself sane that you think guys should think about doing?
I take a break from day game. It does for me. It's mentally and it can be mentally and emotionally tasking. So there are times when it's just, and by a break I mean I'm just sometimes it's hard to avoid seeing, like the times when you see that really 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 pretty girl and it's like it would be a crime not to approach her. If I'm taking a break from day game, in those cases, I'll be like, no, I have to do at least this one. But it just means
Of
that
course.
I won't be constantly looking for who to approach. I'll just like write that shit off and like do other things just so that I don't have to, so that I can give my mind and emotions some time to reset.
Yeah, I definitely take breaks, especially when I've been coaching a lot, because earlier this year, right after New Year's, I went to Prague. I coached a student there from New York. I went to Toronto to coach 2 students in Toronto. Then to Chicago to teach 2 students in Chicago, several guys in New York, and then straight back to Prague to coach 2 more students. So I was coaching almost every day. Like I usually like coach 3 days, take a day off, or take 2 days off. But I was on a schedule like that for 1.5 months. And honestly, I must admit, by the end of it, I hated day game. I didn't want to talk to a single chick. If I saw even the hottest chick, I wouldn't open. I was just like, fuck that, man. I'm not doing it. So I really, really, really did take a break. And then as soon as I start taking a break, COVID starts. I'm forced on a break, but we still I still kind of did a set here and there, not too much, but now I love to be back. I love to be out, and yeah, I mean, just you kind of forget the hotness and the chicks and the crazy adventures once you are off a little bit. So taking time off of day game is definitely something worth doing. If you're like close to a burnout, then yeah, definitely once in a while, why not? What else are you doing to keep yourself sane?
I think that's about it.
Yeah, like
Yes.
I do. Like I definitely love having some evenings where I don't do shit and just watch Netflix. Honestly, I don't do a lot of those, but I love having an evening like that once in a while, just to turn my brain off. Because yeah, and another thing that's highly, highly, highly beneficial for me is journaling. I don't like this is the one habit that I don't do as often as I want to, and this will be the thing that I will work on next is journaling every morning. And yeah, I just right after breakfast, I have a note in Evernote where I just write the date, and then I either have some questions that I have accumulated over years that are some good questions to ask to yourself to think about, or I just write about whatever is in my mind, and I'll just journal for whatever for like 5 minutes. And the rule is you just have to write nonstop. You can't stop. You just can't have a break. You just have to keep going. And whenever something's bothering me, I just start journaling about the topic, and I usually find some. Most of the things you write are complete garbage, but there is this one sentence that's like, oh wow, oh my god, that's incredible. I never thought about this. This is fucking genius. So yeah, journaling definitely helps.
Do you ever actually read back, or is the whole
No,
it's just
no,
meant to like
it's to vent. Yeah,
just
and
get stuff out?
it's to vent. It's not to vent. It's that one sentence, that aha moment. And usually there is one really good sentence that I write that changes my perspective completely on how I view things. And in general, I like writing because writing is one of the most kind of important things that I've learned or that I'm learning. Is when you learn to write, you learn to think differently. Because writing is structured and clean, so you learn to think with more clarity, more structure, and you kind of get better at explaining things to people. The writing and journaling is just it's an incredible habit. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about dates without drinking. Do you ever do? Because I think you do dates without drinking once in a while, right?
I do dates with minimal drinking. Minimal means like I could potentially just get by with a single drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done dates without any drinks at all?
Have I done dates without any drinks at all? Well, not that I can remember entirely, but yesterday's date was without any drinks. It was just a coffee date.
So you did a date yesterday without drinking.
Yeah.
I know some day gamers that are also really healthy. You know the guy, Mr. T from, what's his name? Public? I think it was.
Did you say
Well,
Mr. T? I am
it's
Mr.
now gonna no another Mr. T. Oh, I think his name is Public. Tadas from Lithuania.
Yes, that.
He doesn't drink. Um, he's a really healthy guy. He's like just as ripped as you are. You were making photos of each other's six packs when you both were in Riga.
Yeah, I remember that.
He doesn't drink, and he does 3 dates without drinking. Well, he's in a relationship now, but when he was day gaming, he often didn't drink. So I think you can definitely do dates without drinking, and I don't see any problem with that. Yeah, it's about frame. I mean, you choose whether you drink or not. If you are worried about what the chick is gonna say that you don't drink, well, if you're getting a beer, get I don't know, non-alcoholic beer or some strange shit like that, or get something that looks like a cocktail but isn't. I wouldn't do that. if I didn't want to drink, I would go for a non-alcoholic drink, and chick can drink if she wants to. I just choose not to do it. I think there are other things you can do to improve your health and sleep after dates, etc. But if you choose to do non-alcoholic drinks, I think that's completely fine. And chicks have seen very different types of dates, and just because the rule is go for one drink at this type of bar and then another drink at this type of bar, it doesn't mean you have to go for drinks. You can go for non-alcoholic beverages in bars like that as well. Chick can get a drink, you can get yourself something non-alcoholic. And I had a student who doesn't drink. His grandfather, I think, was an alcoholic or something like that. And he just decided that he will not drink, and he does not. And he still invites girls for drinks, and he just says, "Oh, I don't want to drink now. I'll drink later." And he gets coffee. He's kind of hiding the fact that he doesn't drink. I think you can just own who you are, and if you don't want to drink, then don't drink. That's all I have to say on doing dates without drinking.
On that note, by the way, I've once gone into a bar and asked for tea. And it was a magical moment because I told
We're not friends anymore.
No, this was actually a pretty fun thing. So I just told the girl how a story of how I learned to just ask for random shit, to ask for things that I wanted, and how I saw this girl do that once in a bar, and like she succeeded, and it just was an aha moment. I'm telling my date this story. And just literally after telling that story, I walked into a bar with her, and I didn't want to drink, and she didn't want to drink either. So I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to get a tea. So I look at the bartender straight in the eye. I'm like, she's like, what would you like? And I was like, I'd like a pot of tea, English breakfast tea. And she's like, okay, I'll go make you one. So she makes us a tea, and it was on the house. And my date was like, what the fuck just happened there? Like, it was like, what? You can just ask for tea and you got it for free? So yeah, you could do a and just ask for like random shit.
Yeah. Do you know what you just did?
Sorry?
Do you know what you just did?
What did I do?
You just told your name publicly on a podcast.
That's fine.
Should I edit it out, or is it fine?
That's fine. No one does anything else.
Okay. Well, what are your plans for daygame now that world is kind of coming back to normal?
What's my plans for daygame?
What's the next degenerate thing you're about to do?
I've been gaming for the last 6 weeks. Like that, literally the only thing that would change is I have more people to talk to.
Yeah. Any trips in your plans?
No, and it's a shame that we didn't get to do Budapest.
Oh man, what did you just do? Budapest was a secret.
Oh, okay, just cut that out. Just ask the question again.
Fuck it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you get to go there. I'll probably go there late next month. I have a student lined up for there, or 2 students if Canada opens up, and a student from Canada might go there. If not, then I have another great guy that wants to do that city. Well, dude, as always, it's been a fun conversation. Anything else you want to add?
Go out and game, people. Stay healthy. Find some hobbies. And enjoy your lives.
Get your dick sucked, motherfuckers.
Not by yourself.
Not by yourself. Don't work on your flexibility that much. Okay, dude. Well, this was great, and yeah, see you whether when I go to New York or when you come to Europe, we'll definitely meet.
Yeah, later, man.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
Well, guys, I hope now if you're doing enough sets and you feel that the drinking and the partying is becoming a problem, I hope something in this podcast was of value to you and will help you find a better balance between daygame degeneracy and having a sustainable lifestyle and living kind of healthy-ish. If you liked this podcast, if you found anything that was useful in it for you, then you can do me a little favor. You can go to wherever you're listening to this podcast. If it's on YouTube, just give me a thumbs up. If it's on iTunes, just leave a 5-star review. And That helps more day gamers discover this podcast, and it helps me help more guys. And if you have a wing that you think should hear this podcast, then just send him this episode and make him listen to it. That's it, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.